Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. Ever since 2008, whether it was quantitative easing or physically printing money, the Fed's balance sheet has expanded by trillions. Right now, in April of 2020, it's about to get even bigger as the Senate has approved a $2 trillion stimulus package. So you would assume with all of this money printing, this expansion of the balance sheet since 2008, wouldn't there be major inflation on the US dollar? But as we can see, the US dollar has only been inflating by about 2% a year, which is normal, the projected inflation rate. So what's the problem over here? We always were taught that when you add so much money to an economy, new money, expanding the balance sheet, this would cause hyperinflation. And I'm here to tell you that this money printing, again, whether it's through quantitative easing, whether it's through physically printing money, which in the end of the day, all of these things lead to a expansion on the balance sheet, it does cause inflation. And you might be asking, where? You just showed me that it's 2% a year. That's normal. Where is this inflation? And it's right in front of you, but you're not looking. That inflation is on asset price inflation. And this includes the inflation of financial instruments such as bonds, shares, their derivatives, and even real estate. Every time there is an expansion on the balance sheet, we see these asset prices inflate. For example, with the $2 trillion stimulus package announcement and all the money that has been added to the economy recently, the Dow Jones saw its best day since 1933. Rallied right after the Federal Reserve started printing money. Now, this might be confusing because when it comes to inflation, we think in terms of consumer price index. These are consumer goods that we usually buy. This can include things such as food and beverages, transportation. So when we think of inflation, we think of how much our dollar can buy us. Consumer goods. But very rarely do we ever pay attention to the secret inflation that is happening right in front of our eyes. It happened in 2008. It continues to happen, and it's about to get even worse. That is the reason why very few people can afford to buy a home. Most people have to rent, and even that they can't really afford today. So every time there is an expansion on the balance sheet, there is immediate inflation on asset prices. But when it comes to consumer price index, we can see that has not had much inflation since we started expanding the balance sheet. Now, I just wanted to add a little bonus material because I thought this was very interesting when I first found out about it. There's another secret kind of inflation, and it's called shrinkflation. And this has to do with the shrinking of the size or quantity or even the quality of a product. So let's say, for example, in the traditional method or way that we understand inflation, let's say you want to buy 10 cookies and it costs $1. The way we understand inflation is that maybe in a year or two, that same package of 10 cookies that was $1, maybe now it'll cost $2 or $3. But what we see right now is it's a secret kind of inflation called shrinkflation, where the product actually gets smaller. So the price isn't increasing. Using this example, these 10 cookies still cost $1, except now the cookies have been shrunk. So they have been made smaller, they have been made thinner. So these 10 cookies now, they really maybe are only the size of 6 of the original cookies. So you get less than what you paid for. Right now, we are seeing the most money printed in the history of the world. The USA's $2 trillion stimulus package, on top of all of the quantitative easing that has been going on since 2008. We see Japan adding a $1 trillion package, a stimulus package, and people forget how big a trillion is. We used to talk about stimulus packages in the millions, then we went to the billions. Now we just throw the word trillion out like it's nothing. This is crazy. This is absurd. We see China injecting $173 billion into their economy, and we see European central banks announcing a $750 billion euros worth stimulus plan. So much money is being added, whether it's physical printing, whether it's buying securities, whether it's in the end of the day, it's expanding the balance sheet. So in this time, like we see in the past, there will be an immediate inflation on assets. And it's very likely in the years to come that we will see an inflation on the money itself, the currency, and also on the consumer price index. This meme I have in front of me, it's very funny. Every time I see it, I laugh so hard, and we all know what it is. It's the meme of the Fed printing money with no control, money printer go brrr. So it's every time, I laugh every time that I come across it. But anyways, I just wanted to share this information with you today. If you like this video, go down below, subscribe to the channel, show your love. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.